First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking each day as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you can never really know what's up next.
Hello. Davie Portman here for Post Wrestling, and we are live on Tuesday for Up Next. No, I am not with Braden Harrington tonight. You did not hear that usual hello at the beginning. Braden's taking his mum out on a lovely little Christmas date tonight. They're off to see the Nutcracker, and good for them. But I'm here once again. We've been chatting quite a few times recently with Boris from A+ Productions. Boris, how are you today?
I'm doing swell tonight on this very cold evening in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Lots to talk about tonight.
Yes.
We're going to be talking about John Cena's retirement once again, Monday Night Raw, Mick Foley, Donald Trump, botched finishes, #1 contenders. There's a lot to get through today. And we will get through it all very, very soon. Yes, we are up next. We are your NXT friends. It's weird doing it both myself. And yeah, we'll be getting into our NXT review very shortly. But first, let's get a few plugs out of the way. We here are at Up Next. We're known as Poisonrana. We have our own podcast feed, which you can follow for absolutely free. Just search for Poisonrana wherever you get your podcasts, and like and subscribe on YouTube. But we've been doing a lot of shows very recently. We've been having a little project on our Patreon called The Champ Is Here, where we've been going through every single title win of John Cena and the whole story surrounding the title reign and his chase for the title. And just last week, we dropped, myself, Braden, and our guest tonight, Boris, dropped episode 13B, The Champ Is Here, which involved Cena just after winning the title from The Rock, all the way to feuding with Ryback, Mark Henry, and the fantastic SummerSlam match with Daniel Bryan. We had Boris in the studio. We went for about 3 hours. This was a fantastic show. And yeah, we go to patreon.com/Poisonrana if you want to have a listen to it. But if you're like, I'm not sure, I don't know if I like the sound of that, you can even sample the shows for free, as we have uploaded a bunch on our free feed. So including episode 10, which featured John Cena versus CM Punk, episode 13A, which featured John Cena versus The Rock, and episode 1. We've got about 4 or 5 episodes up there that you can check out. And if you like it, maybe treat yourself this Christmas. Treat yourself this holiday season to our Patreon. It's only $5. We've had so many more shows up there recently, including our Was Next reviews, where we've been going through retro NXT. We're in 2014 right now. We just had the debut of Becky Lynch. We have a little show called Up Yours, where we go to our family member patrons to see what they want us to talk about. Recently, we reviewed WCW Fall Brawl 1993, featuring War Games, featuring the debut of the Shockmaster, as well as joined by Emmy Award-winning Rob McDonald for our review of The Flash. We've been going through reviewing every single Batman film, and The Flash is technically a Batman film with the return of Michael Keaton. But we just dropped a big one today, one about 2 years in the making. Way back when, Braden, myself, and a Mr. John Pollock, the patriarch of post-wrestling, reviewed Home Alone 1. One of John's favorite movies, one of, I think, most of our favorite movies. And the following year, for Christmas, we reviewed Home Alone 2. And then last year, we were like, should we do Home Alone 3? John keeps on saying how busy he is on the podcast. Maybe we won't ask him. And John said to us, I'm surprised you didn't ask me to do Home Alone 3 this year. So we made him promise, and a year later, we finally dropped the review. Home Alone 3, starring not Macaulay Culkin. Boris, have you ever seen this film before?
I have not. I have not seen this one. I've only seen the first two. Love the first two. Near and dear to my heart, like many other millennials. But I've never seen this one.
We're a little split on this one. We'll say that. But it's always fun chatting with John. And yeah, you can go and find that review on our Patreon. But we've got a lot of stuff coming up as well. If you are a family member patron, we are going to be recording a new episode of Behind the BDE. That's just kind of a gloves off kind of podcast where Braden and I just shoot the shit for an hour or so. But we have some special shows coming up this week, including the return of Bushby and Thompson. Yes, Martin Bushby and Andrew Thompson once again teaming up for what they're calling a holiday wrestling extravaganza. And this is going to be live tomorrow on the Poisonrana YouTube. They've got a bunch of guests lined up. I'm really excited to just hearing these two chat again. It's been a long time since we've had both on our airwaves, on our podcast waves. So absolutely go to youtube.com/@PoisonRanaPod. Like and subscribe. They'll be going live tomorrow at 3 p.m. And then we'll be getting the audio up for free. So if you don't want to check out the video, if you want to enjoy it on a walk or while you're doing some work or at the gym, you can do that as well. But that's not the only holiday party we're having over at Poisonrana, because this Sunday is the annual Poisonrana Christmas House Party, live at 3 p.m. Eastern on our YouTube channel. And yeah, this is always a lot of fun. Braden and I get the eggnog out, get the wine out, and have a lot of guests dropping in throughout the day. We'll play some party games. A bit of party quirks is always a favorite of ours. But we're getting the BDE champion, Fire Frank, to put his title on the line in a game of trivia. And we're going to invite you all to play. So if you're around this Sunday, please join in at 3 p.m. Again, we'll be putting it up on our free feed afterwards. And Boris, I believe you're going to be joining us at some point.
Yes, well. I will. Just let me know where, when, and how much booze I need to be drinking to catch up to you guys.
As much as you can handle. And then around our holiday festivities, we're going to be dropping a review next week, just before Christmas. And it's, what is even the name of this film? It's Holiday Touchdown, a Bill's love story. This is the Hallmark Channel Buffalo Bills Christmas film. This sounds awful, and I can't wait to talk about it. We're going to be joined by my roommate, a big Bills fan, Golden Graham, to talk Holiday Touchdown, a Bills love story. I've seen quite a few of my friends have watched this one already. It sounds absolutely terrible, and I'm all for it because this is the time of year to be watching bad movies.
I love Hallmark Channel movies. There's only one thing I like a little more than Hallmark Channel movies, and that's Bravo reality TV. But this is up my alley. I've seen this. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. Yes.
So you can find all that. We'll be taking a little bit of time off around the Christmas period, but there'll still be plenty of shows in your ears on both our free feed and our YouTube channel and Patreon. And a little bit of housekeeping for next week. Next week's NXT is a taped show, and those of us who are not in the US, not watching this on the CW, and have access to NXT on Netflix, the tape shows often run a little bit quicker because it skips the ad breaks and things. So we're going to be aiming to go on as soon as NXT finishes. I believe if it's anything like the other week, it means we'll be going up at around 9:25 p.m. To get our review up and out there. Obviously, if you are from the US, you can just join in later. You can watch the show on delay. It will be in your audio feed, but we're going to be powering through maybe a little bit of a shorter review next week as we have some festivities as it's, what is it, Christmas Eve? Next Tuesday? Yep. Christmas Eve. So yes, so around 9:25 p.m., 9:30, we'll be going live. I'm saying all of this, and now NXT will probably deliver some huge bumper edition of the show, but I don't think so. I think we'll be safe. So join us there. Obviously, follow our socials. We're on, I still call it Twitter, Instagram, at Poisonrana Pod, and we'll be keeping you all updated with when we're going live. Whew. They're my plugs out the way, Boris. But Boris, I know we've had you a few times now on this show. You filled in for both myself and Braden, but maybe educate some of our audience who missed those shows, who you are, what A+ Productions is, and what you have going on.
Yeah, I've been in the podcasting game for 10 years now. Have tons of show. Everything is under the A+ Productions umbrella. That's EH with the plus sign. And it's the most Canadian name humanly possible. From that, we also have A+ Wrestling, which is my wrestling show weekly on KPHR, which is a Hamilton radio station that plays tons of classic rock. Because, nothing says classic rock like wrestling at the end of a Monday evening. But starting January, we're moving to Thursday. Yeah, so we A+ Wrestling, any podcast feed, you can search us for A+ Wrestling, hit that subscribe, leave a review. Tons of shows. Typically, actually, my co-host is one of the co-owners of Demand Lucha, good old Hutch Henry's. He's with me each and every single week. And in the new year, we have a ton of stuff planned. Really, we're going balls deep with A+ Wrestling and A+ Productions.
Awesome. And whilst on the subject of Demand Lucha, they're going to be having 2 shows in the Ontario area this week. Starting tomorrow night in Oshawa, they'll be doing a show. They've got, I believe, Jack Cartwheel, Joey Janela, Jody Threat is on the show, as well as the Los Medicos, favorites of mine. So if you are in the Oshawa area, Demand Lucha always put on a fantastic show, as well as being right here in Parkdale Hall in Toronto on Queen Street West for a very merry Lucha Christmas on December 18th. Tickets still available. Go to luchamarket.com. Unfortunately, I've been roped into working this Thursday evening, so I will not be attending this one. I'm gutted. I always enjoy their shows, especially these Christmas ones that are a hell of a lot of fun. But if you are around, I highly recommend it. It's a great treat. They're an awesome promotion. We're really spoiled here in Ontario. We've got some awesome indie wrestling feds on the go. So support your local indies.
Yep. On Thursday's show, they have Joey Janela, they have Jody Threat, Jack Cartwheel taking on Joey Janela. Main event has Beast Mortos taking on Gringo Loco. It's a huge stacked card.
Yeah, I'm pretty gutted. I'm not going to be at this one, but c'est la vie. Right, well, there the plugs out the way. Let's get into a little bit of wrestling chat. We're going to be talking a little bit about some non-NXT things before we go into our review. I think I'm going to start, and maybe we're all sick of this. I don't know. Are we sick of this conversation yet? It's still all I seem to see on my timeline. But now the dust has settled. Boris, John Cena's final match. John Cena tapping out, quitting on his way out. What were your thoughts?
It was inevitable to happen. I believe that if you thought differently, I respect it, but I just did not see John Cena of all people. We talked about it on episode 13B, where John Cena, around that point in time when he lost to Daniel Bryan, he changed his attitude. He started giving back to wrestling. He was seen as a spoiled person. He was seen as a person that only thought about himself, that would bury talent, etc., etc., etc. After that point, back in 2013, he started giving back to the industry, started giving back to the business. And I think we talked a little bit about this, where he also noticed, hey, I love this business. I'm going to retire one day, there needs to be people after me. So I think that it was heavily influenced by him, and it was overall the right call. And you know what justified it, Davie? Gunther's promo on Raw. That justified whatever happened on Saturday. As angry as you want to be, we're the ones who make the noise. The IWC are the ones who make the noise. There's a large percentage of people who have no idea about any of this stuff. And guess what? That reaction that Gunther got on Monday was bigger than Dom, was bigger than anything. He was bigger than CM Punk and the belts. He is the final boss of Raw. He is the ultimate heel. He is the guy right now. And you can thank Cena for that.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same page. I think my initial reaction was disappointment. But the more I think about it, the more it makes sense. And I've seen people going, oh, couldn't they have pinned him? Did he have to quit? But we've seen Cena lose a lot in the last few years. And his streak, Undertaker had the WrestleMania streak. Cena's streak is not tapping out. And I think I think the kind of, it was cheesy as hell, but I think that promo video at the beginning of Raw, where it was showing Cena fading from the sleeper, and then literally his life flashing before his eyes before tapping out. I think that kind of told the story that we were trying to tell quite well, where it's like Cena, it's not that he's giving up, it's he has nothing left to give anymore. And that's his time. And that is him. Him lying on his back, taking a 1-2-3, isn't necessarily passing on the torch because, well, he's just done it with Dom. He lost to Brock. He did it a few years ago, and we'll be talking about him to Austin Theory at WrestleMania. But him tapping out was passing that torch. It gives Gunther this weapon of he is the guy that retired John Cena, but not only retired him, made him submit. And I think that's great. And, it's also Gunther, who I've followed for years, on the Indies, NXT UK, NXT regular, and the main roster. And there was this fear when he was, the NXT UK champion and was completely dominating. And you're just going, oh, but when he gets to the main roster, Vince is going to have him in lederhosen and being this stereotype and just not going to get it at all. And that's not been the case. Like, they're still presenting Gunther as if he's Walter. And of the people to give this rub to, I am very happy that it's this guy because I think he's tremendous. And as you say, you've now created a final boss. Brock is probably on his way out this year. We need someone else, that ultra super killer for these baby faces to go against. And I thought his presentation on Monday on last night's Raw was excellent.
I loved it. Like everything, even the interaction with AJ, him just leaving, doing the "you can't see me" as he's driving away. Everything was so well done. And like I say, they created a true monster, a real monster, a career killer, and just waiting for that day where we get the career killer versus the legend killer.
Yeah. I mean, how many more careers is he going to end? Will he be the one to end AJ Styles? Will he be the one to end Brock Lesnar? Will he be the one to end Randy Orton? I feel we're going to be having quite a lot of retirements in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what? At this point, they should do it. Just let him retire everyone. I think that should be the gimmick at this point. And, the IWC, look, angry, happy, we're still talking about it. We're still giving them clicks. We're still giving them social media, clout. So they achieve something.
Now, what other takeaways did you have from Raw? We did have the finally, as we all thought, Austin Theory being revealed as the Masked Man. Is he aligned with the Vision? Is he working on his own? Is he working mainly with Logan Paul and not the Vision? What were your thoughts on this reveal? And how do you feel about it being Austin Theory being reintroduced in pretty significant role?
I think it's good for him. Like, look, he's someone that Triple H has always seen something in him. Vince saw something in him, but for the longest time, he had that Vince stink on him. It was with the whole, just the U.S. title run, the John Cena win. Everything was kind of weird with the whole Vince stuff, and he needed some time away, a repackaging of sorts. So we'll see. He looks a little bigger. He looks a little meaner. He looks like, he can cook up some meth in Breaking Bad right now with that picture you got
the
up
shaved
there.
head. The shaved head works, I think, for him.
Yeah,
it does give him something a little fresher.
It makes him look older, makes him look meaner. I kind of like this version, but again, we'll see what happens. I think that it was obvious that it was Austin Theory, so they just should have done the reveal a lot quicker. I thought it was kind of underwhelming in the grand scheme of stuff, but you know me, Davey. I'm very positive about stuff. I try to be as positive as humanly possible. I'm going to give it a shot. Let's see where they go with this. I'm going to let it play out.
I think this is really the last chance for Austin Theory. I think he still has a lot of that stink around him. But he is someone I've been really high on before. Like, I was watching him when we used to cover Evolve on the post wrestling, and I thought he, obviously has a good look. He wrestled really well in Evolve, and I think that's something that got real dialed back when he moved to the main roster. And he could talk, but then I think people started to overtake him, and I didn't think he, pardon the pun, evolved. And then had a bunch of just bad booking, like the Money in the Bank run that he ends up using for the US title, which I can't even remember if he wins that title or not. Just getting humiliated by Brock Lesnar, and then the whole Vince McMahon stuff, and then really being relegated further down the card. Like, last time we saw him, he was in a comedy tag team with Grayson Waller, and Grayson Waller was the star of that team. And it really felt like his peers, like his other people similar age, had surpassed him. Now, this is the last chance. He's been off TV a while. Was there an injury, or was it just being removed from TV?
It's mixed. I've heard injuries. I've heard just being removed. I've heard other personal reasons. So who knows what the real reason is? But he's been gone a really, really long time. Like, I want to say 7 months or something like that.
So I really hope that he's been thinking of stuff to do, things to change. I beat this drum a lot, but got some acting lessons.
Yes.
I think acting lessons and improv are invaluable to these wrestlers. Maybe change up his moveset a little bit or whatever. Not that he's ever been bad, but he just became, and maybe that's just the WWE style, but he became super generic. This is really the last chance. I do like that the story makes sense. He was in Seth Rollins' original version of The Vision. I can't even remember if it had an actual name back then. But the, pandemic era Monday Night Messiah with, what was it, Buddy Murphy and Austin Theory and that, like,
that tag team.
So there is a link to Seth Rollins, and there's a link to Paul Heyman and all that. So I hope it works out, because they're putting a lot behind this guy again, when we're about to talk about NXT, where there's a lot of people looking for spaces on the main roster to slot in, and we're giving one more go with Austin Theory. So I'm a bit more like you. I'm a little bit more of the positive guy on this show usually, and as you said, we'll see how it plays out. Anything else from Raw that took your eye this week?
Let's see. I forgot a lot of what happened. That's how memorable it was. I guess we got Maxine Dupree got the IC match with, that was okay. We had Raquel Rodriguez and Stephanie Vaquer, which was pretty good. I was wonder where they're going with that, with Nikki Bella there.
Nikki Bella coming about and attacking Stephanie and Raquel again after the match. I'm a bigger Bella fan than most, but I don't know if we need to see this necessarily get run back, this feud. It's weird because it feels we're in this point where we're kind of using the world championship on both brands with the women to try and elevate someone, whilst the real stars, and that's not saying anything knocking Stephanie Vicaire. I think she's fantastic. She's one of the best wrestlers in the world. But there's still, there's the language barrier, there's the promo, there's all the other stuff you need in WWE. And she's not on that level as some of the stars right now, your Rheas, etc. And they're all wrestling in the tag division right now. So it's a little weird, and we're running this Nikki Bella thing back, but we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, this Nikki Bella thing just reminds me too much of Trish Stratus's return gimmick. I'm the legend, you should all respect me type of thing. Like, it's been done over and over again. That's my one biggest criticism of things right now.
Yeah, and I think the difference is Trish looked like she could hang a bit more with the current roster. Trish's last run, her heel run, really impressed me, actually. I was really surprised to see how well she hung with those people. And then we had the CM Punk Bron Breakker stuff with Punk being mad at Breakker for, take my wife's name out of your mouth, and insulting a pretty good line. What was it? Your dumb father and your even dumber uncle, which I liked. And Breakker like spearing him in half at the end of the show, being like, take my family's name out of your mouth. I find it, CM Punk is always a fantastic promo, and Way kind of said this on last night's show, but I think there's so much of him that is so not Punk anymore. We're seeing him going to Saudi. We're seeing him just like sucker up to these people and crying at John Cena's last match and stuff like that. And it's like, dude, where are you? Where's the real CM Punk? And now he can go out there and deliver a promo like this and sound fantastic. But there's just, I think back in the day when he said this shit, you really believed him. And now it's like, I know you're acting. I know you're performing. And there's a little bit of a disconnect. Do you see Bron Breakker taking the title from Punk on that January 5th show?
I really do. I don't know why. I have this weird feeling that they're going to take it away from him at that show. Might as well. Just at this point, let's just see what these young kids can do, right? Everyone's complaining about people's age in WWE. If they really want to start this new era for the 20th time this calendar year, let's see what Bron Breakker can do, even if it's a short run.
Yeah, I really like the idea of. At first, I thought maybe you have him not win the first one and then win a little bit later down the line, but I would kind of prefer Bron Breakker just to steamroll him, like Brock at SummerSlam against Cena. Just steamroll Punk. Punk can then go through a bit of a redemption story. I think we need heel CM Punk now. I think he's been back long enough, and especially if you're an AEW fan and watched him back then as well. He's been this babyface way too long, and I think maybe like they were teasing we're getting Cody Roman 3 at WrestleMania. Personally, I would like Punk Cody at WrestleMania, and whether that's Punk winning the Rumble, Punk winning the Chamber to challenge Cody, or other means. Will Cody even be champion then? Who knows? But I think heel Punk or leaning heel Punk against Cody would be great.
Yeah, my biggest concern with this whole Bron Breakker match right now in January is we just talked about this match. I hope he doesn't turn into what Ryback was to John Cena.
I think he's already shown in his run that he's got a little bit more to offer than Ryback. I really hope, because that'll be a shame. And I think, but I know what you mean. It's like you're talking about Ryback kind of losing the big one early and then it being slotted into that position. I think the position he's in with Paul Heyman and all that, I think they just need to go with him, make a statement. Right. Well, that was Raw. That was kind of my takeaways from Raw. I don't know if there was anything else from you. The New Day versus Usos, part 45. What I will not be doing a podcast going over every single Usos New Day match, but I think kind of interesting to see where Jey Uso is right now. I don't know if you saw some of the videos from Saturday night's main event where he seemed a little inebriated and cutting some questionable FaceTime promos or whatever. Like, do you think the singles push is over? Or I know he's back in the tag division now. Do you see this being a bit more of a permanent thing? Do you see him getting to that main event level once again?
I think that we'll see him there. Maybe not in 2026, but I do think that he'll get another shot. It might not be the world title. It might be the IC or US, but I think him as a main eventer right now, that experiment has ended. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's just a lot of people right now. There's just a lot of possibilities up top. And he was kind of that odd man out, that easy person to remove, right? So I think that we're going to see him in singles action again, just not yet. I think there's a way to kind of give him some wins, make him relevant, make the fans hopefully switch on him a little bit, because, you know, people were just getting just ridiculous, mean on him. It was a lot. So I think this is the best route for him. Also takes some of the pressure away. I have this weird feeling that, you know, the pressure may have got to him at times. You can tell with promos, you can tell with the big matches, he kind of fumbled a lot. Maybe there was a lot of, you know, he wasn't in the right headspace. So I kind of feel like this is a good place. He's with his brother. He's being protected. He doesn't have to fight 20 minutes straight alone. This is a good spot for him to get his head back in the right place.
I know what you're saying, but when you've got so many people waiting in the wings to take that spot, and he's had more than enough chances at this point. I can't think of a big pressure spot where he's delivered in the singles. The match with Jimmy at WrestleMania was awful,
atrocious,
and just continually these singles matches. The SummerSlam match with Roman was horrible. Like, there's been so many of these things, and his title reign ended with a whimper. And man, the one thing we were talking about, Gunther, the biggest fumble for me is having him tap out Gunther at WrestleMania, because those chants are still following Gunther, and it's the one thing that, for me, that taints this whole Gunther heel run thing. It's like, yes, you just tapped out the GOAT, but you tapped out to Jey fucking Uso.
I think the biggest issue, and I agree with everything you said, the only reason I think he's going to get another chance is because of his bloodline. I think that is going to guarantee him at least one or two more chances.
You know, my other worry is I can see him turning heel on Jimmy and us getting that match again. And I can see them wanting to redo that. I can see them wanting to redeem themselves. And I don't know, but I can see him not maybe being too happy, especially the Jimmy promo. It's like, we've had a lot of losses recently, and then just lists off, Jey lost this, Jey lost that, Jey lost that, Jey lost that. It's like, we had a lot of losses recently.
But that could be the seeds that they're planting, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully not, but
we'll see. I'm just thinking, you know, you've got Trick Williams not on NXT right at the moment. He's going to be moving up. Obafemi, I don't think will be in NXT much longer. You've got people like Ricky Saints, Javon Evans. You've got all these talents who are going to be moving up, and I think a few of them should be slotted in the main event picture. Then you talk, you know, Jacob Fatu, when he comes back, he should be in that position. Bron Breakker's ready to break through. Like, do we have the time to really give Jey Uso another chance at the top?
That's the thing. Typically, I would say no. He's been given countless chances. There's so many people waiting. You listed them off. There's so many more people. And then there's always those surprises from NXT. There's always those people who just randomly just pick it up and run with it. But again, it's just his name. I think that's going to give it to him. One thing you mentioned Obafemi. You know, Obafemi is super over when people are already starting the trend with the walk and having his music over it. Yeah. And then people saying, this is me walking to the kitchen every day now. This is me kicking out kids out of the theater. Like, it's hilarious.
Oh, I do the walk all the time, and it's almost like, you know, when you've heard a song like way before it gets big or something. It's like, yeah, I've been doing the Open Femi walk for like 2 years at this point, you know.
Yeah.
Now, whilst on the subject of Raw, we do have one more plug, or rather, Boris, you have a plug. You're kind of taking the baton from us for hosting some little parties in the Six around January time when Monday Night Raw is at the Scotiabank.
Absolutely. January the 26th. Bottom Line is Raw. Bottom Line is a sports bar just around the corner from the Air Canada Center, Scotiabank Arena, whatever you want to call it. And it's going to be cool as hell. It's January. So might as well go to a bar that's steps away from the arena itself. No cover, right beside the Hockey Hall of Fame, 22 Front Street. Food and drink specials, and maybe even a live podcast recording. We'll see what happens. But for sure, food and drink specials. Have fun. Come meet people. Come chat with like-minded wrestling fans at Bottom Line.
Yes, Braden and I and a lot of the crew will be there. It's a great bar. I haven't been there for a long time. I know I've seen some England World Cup and Euros games there. It's great space, very close to Scotiabank. So even in the blistering, not blistering, but biting January cold, you can get to the Scotiabank very quickly.
You can get to Scotia from Bottom Line without even going outside through the path.
Oh, listen to that. Even better. So yes, that's in January 26th at 5 p.m. 22 Front Street. We will obviously be reminding you closer to the time. But also, if some of my fellow Canadians in Montreal or Vancouver are going to be around for Saturday night's main event and AEW's Dynasty, let us know, because I know Braden and myself are planning on going to both of these shows, barring anything else coming up. But both shows as well, Boris?
Yeah, we should go to Peel Bar in Montreal. They love us people from Toronto and English speakers.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, I was just putting out the feelers there. If you are around, give us some suggestions. We probably won't be organizing anything ourselves unless we can chat to this Peel Bar. But yes, Saturday night's main event in Montreal and AEW Dynasty in, I believe it's April in Vancouver. I will very likely be at both shows. So again, closer to the time, we'll let you know. I think that's enough. Oh, actually, no, it's not. It's not. There's some other big news.
Go ahead. I'll let you take this. I'm just gonna have a drink of water while you have a chat.
Oh boy. Mick Foley has announced his departure from WWE. He wants out of his Legends deal when it expires in the new year. I'll see if I've got the actual quote here from Mick. He says, while I have been concerned about WWE's close relationship with Donald Trump for several months, especially in light of his administration's ongoing cruel and inhumane treatment of immigrants and pretty much anyone who looks like an immigrant, reading the president's incredibly cruel comments in the wake of Rob Reiner's death is the final straw for me. I no longer wish to represent a company that coddles a man so seemingly void of compassion as he marches our country towards autocracy. I love WWE, will always treasure my time with them, and I am deeply appreciative for all the opportunities they afforded me. But in the words of Popeye the Sailor, I stands all I can stands, and I can't stands no more. Yeah, this is in light of the tragic passing of Rob Reiner and his wife, who, just awful news. The director and actor passed away a couple of days ago, and Trump made a really insensitive tweet, Truth Social, like hours after his passing, making it all about himself, surprise, surprise. And when questioned about this, doubling down and kind of not apologizing and, just standing by his words that he suffered from Trump derangement syndrome. Look, politics aside, it's just an awful thing to say about someone, even someone you disagree with, someone you don't see eye to eye. When it comes to the president, your job is to protect your people, to represent your people, and to say this about a citizen of your own country is fucking appalling. And I wish more people would take a stand like Mick Foley. And I'm sure we'll get the people being like, oh, well, okay, you're now going to talk about a WWE show. Whatever, fuck off. Like, it's this whole thing to me is just anyone who's still supporting this person with the stuff you can see, like, this isn't a good human being. And you're part of a cult, if you are, in my opinion, because it's appalling. And I think Mick Foley summed it up perfectly. And I've seen many people say, how is it the guy with barely a working back anymore got the most spine out of everyone? But yeah, don't want to get all political, but it is big news. Foley's been part of the company for a very long time on these Legends deal and cutting ties with them until, you know, this administration's over or WWE's connection with it is over.
When Jim Cornette is one of the voices of reasons, you know something is going weird in this world.
Yeah.
Right? Like the way that he applauded Mick Foley, and, you know, Cornette is Cornette, but at the end of the day, right? Like you said, we're all humans. I just don't fucking get it. I just don't get it. Like I can go on a huge rant myself. I could lose my citizenship in a few months with some of the bills that he's pushing through Congress right now, right? So like, it's all of this is ridiculous. But like the fact that, you know, you are the most powerful human in the world. You are supposed to take care of your citizens, and this is how you talk about your citizens, to your citizens, and to the entire world. The optics of it are ridiculous. And to me, it's, what if anyone else? What if Biden did this? What if Obama did this? Can you imagine the outrage? Oh my God, he would be in trial right now. Like he would be like, yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and it angers me and it frustrates me, and I can't believe that this is where we are. And it just sucks. It just absolutely sucks.
It does, and like it makes it hard. Now, obviously, this is part of my job is to cover WWE and being a fan for a long time. But it kind of sickens me, and we've had listeners who have told us that they just can't watch anymore because whether it's ties with the Saudis, whether it's ties to this administration, whatever. And I completely understand. I completely understand, and it's, you know, I don't want to get into it all too much, but you're seeing people going like, oh, well, there were people saying stuff about the Charlie Kirk murder. Yeah, and a lot of those people lost their jobs for saying shitty things. Like, I did not like Charlie Kirk. Like, I did not like what he stood for, and I did not like the hate he spread and encouraged. But that is still a husband, a father whose life was taken from him unfairly. But the president of the United States should have a better standard, have a higher standard. He should be better than me and you, you know? And when this wasn't a politically motivated murder, as far as I'm aware, and just so soon after to say those comments, and given the opportunity to be like, you know, when more information has come out, to say, you know what, like, I was wrong. I don't think this guy's ever said I was wrong in his life. And I just thought it was absolutely appalling. And good on Mick Foley is what I want to say. And I'm sorry to anyone who's here for a wrestling review and you know, had to listen to that. Whether you agree with me or disagree with me, that's fine, and that's up to you. But yeah, I think it is big news. Mick Foley's been a part of the company, whether not being on TV. He's been an ambassador and a legend for a long time, for many years. And he's a big name to kind of come out and publicly say this, whilst many others might be feeling the same way, but still cashing that check. So good on Mick Foley.
Yep, absolutely.
Shall we now talk about some silly wrestling?
Some silly wrestling with a silly botch finish. Let's do it.
Let's do it. NXT from December 16th, 2025, live from the Performance Center. And we're kicking things off with Javon Evans. He's in the car park in winter in a sleeveless top. He's crazy. And he's looking for Ricky Saints. Ava tells him to calm down. A lot of Ava on this show tonight. She says, calm down, come inside. We'll wait. We'll sort things out with Ricky. But Javon's like, nah, I'm staying here. I'm not going inside until he arrives. And then we go to our opening match on the evening, and probably the match that is going to have the most conversation, surprisingly, coming out of it. It's the NXT Women's North American Championship match. Blake Monroe defending against Thea Hale. The match starts. Monroe drop kicks Thea into the corner and continues stomp down on her. She hits a spinning sidewalk slam with quite a few rotations. And then Thea comes back with a wheelbarrow into an arm drag, followed by a Lope Suicida to the floor. After the break, Monroe is applying a Cobra clutch. Thea manages to get out of it. They run the ropes. We get a double noggin knocker here as they both collide heads. Thea gets the better of it, comes back, hits a fall-away slam, and then her springboard coffin drop, flattening Blake Monroe. And we get 1, 2, 3. And both women kind of don't know how to react. There's a bit of a silence. The ref tells the timekeeper to ring the bell. The bell rings. We start to hear Blake Monroe's music. It then suddenly gets cut off. And then we get Mike Rome say the winner of the match and new Women's North American Champion, Thea Hale. As Thea's music plays, she's handed the title. She's in tears. Blake Monroe looks confused. This crowd looks confused. Everyone's confused here. And obviously, right away, everyone is then going online to go, what the fuck just happened here? I've seen both Wrestling Observer and Fightful report that this wasn't the planned finish. I think this was pretty obvious. Like, we've watched a lot of wrestling. Blake Monroe's music playing first. If that didn't give it away, I don't know what does. But this was really odd. You go back and watch the replay. Blake does lift her shoulder a bit, but it's after the 3 count, it seems. It's not a big kick out. This also isn't really, we see this move done by Thea, but it's never been a finish for her, as far as I'm aware. All really weird. And then kind of, it's the domino effect from here on, because you imagine they were probably going to go at least another minute on this match. And then we've got other stories we've got to tell. I imagine there was going to be a scene with her and Jordan Grace later that they had to kind of rewrite, I imagine. But this kind of shook up the whole show a bit. But yeah, interesting. The last thing I can think of was, Moxley calling the audible in the match against Phoenix for, was it the International Championship at the time? But that was Moxley saying, like, I've been rocked, pin me, I'm hurt. This was legit a 3 count that should have been a 2 count, and you can blame Blake, you can blame the ref, you can blame whoever, but very, very interesting. What was your takeaway from this?
I had to rewatch it. So something that a lot of people may or may not know, when we're going to do a review, or whomever I do a review with, we typically don't talk during the show because, I don't want to know what you think about things and vice versa, right? So, but you messaged me. And it's like, what the hell was that? And I'm like, I had to rewatch it. I literally stopped during, like, right after, rewound, and I watched it, and man, it just looked like Blake Monroe got rocked. Like, she got the wind taken out of her. And I don't know whether she thought the 3 was the 2, or she just couldn't physically move and get the arm up, but it was just so awkward. It just looks really bad. But then, we always talk about the refs, right? And how in WWE, they're instructed to just constantly go. Remember a few months ago with Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton, when the referee blatantly stopped the count? and
Yeah.
all the hell the IWC was giving them. So this is the counter to that, right? Now I'm interested to kind of see how they work this all in. It sucks for Blake, but stuff like this happens, on with the show. It really sucks, but what can you do?
I think the ref did the right thing here.
Yeah.
Now, look, if this was, Roman Reigns' 4-year title reign,
yes,
and it ended like this against Akira Tozawa, like, sure, the ref, like, say, no, kicked out, just whatever. This isn't that. This is Blake Monroe's, like, it's the secondary title in NXT. She can win the title back in a couple of weeks, right? Like, they can do the rematch. Blake can beat her. Thea's had this little 2-week reign or whatever. I don't think it really matters. I think you can get all the pieces back into position moving forward, or maybe we just move Blake on. I think we're going to be getting a Jordynne Grace heel turn. I think we're going to get probably a Jordynne Grace Thea Hale series down the line. Maybe they just roll with it. But yeah, it was very interesting to see. I don't know if it was because she hits the move and then Blake is kind of turned, so she has to push her a little bit before going to the pin. And sometimes when you take your eye off the screen and you're looking at your phone or your laptop or whatever, you sometimes hear the referee like jumping to the mat and you hear that noise and it sounds like the 1 count, right? So sometimes it sounds like a 3 count is a 4 count or whatever. So I don't know if it was that positioning and she couldn't see or hear and just heard the thud and thought it was a 2 when it was a 3. I don't know. But either way, I think the ref did the right thing. And also it's, weird shit happens in sport. Like how many VAR and all that do we have? Did that cross the line? Was that a foul? Did he touch him first before the ball? Like all that kind of stuff.
The Jays ball falling right under the mat and the outfield.
Weird things happen in huge situations. Like I know, video replays of soccer, football, where did the ball cross? It's like, the keeper throws it out when it's behind the line and ends up being a goal or not a goal or whatever. Like these things happen. I think the ref completely made the right decision. And I don't know. I actually kind of love these kind of things because it's just like, ooh, how did that happen? What wrong? So yeah. I think we'll course correct very quickly. And, Thea's been there a long time. And I actually thought they made it work later in the segment with Jordynne Grace. But this was interesting.
Yeah. And I think that, if the plan was eventually, let's say it was going to be a schmoz type finish, a weird ending, and Thea Hale was going to win at New Year's Evil or something like that, let's just say, right? And Blake Monroe was going to move on to whomever the women's champ is. Just rush it a couple weeks early at this point, right?
Yeah.
It's NXT.
It's NXT. As we said, this is, I said that about Roman, but then I have flashbacks of that last man standing match with Kevin Owens where they couldn't get the handcuffs off him. And the ref's like, I'm just not going to count anymore.
Exactly.
We do have a super chat from Jake from the Windy City for $6. Thank you very much, Jake. Appreciate it. He says, we've seen the opposite recently, but I'm always on the side that the referee should call the match like a real sport and count to 3 no matter what. Yeah, good point. And just a reminder to everyone that super chats are open. Thank you. We continue after that. We see the Culling backstage. They go to their little creepy room with their little creepy stools. And there's the Kendal with drawn on tattoos because Nico Vance doesn't have a Mattel wrestling figure yet, sat on one of the stools. And Nico sees it and is looking a little puzzled. And as he says, we need to move on. And so does Tatum. And we've corrected the mistake and now we're done. And Nico's a little freaked out by the doll that's there and goes, yeah, but doesn't seem so sure. How have you been enjoying this Culling Tatum story?
I'm kind of over it. It's just a weird story that needs to end sooner rather than later. I like Tatum Paxley. The calling just is not doing it for me whatsoever in any shape, way, or form.
Yeah, I've liked the culling a lot more since they had Izzy seem to be more of the leader. I think it's been good for her, but I hate culty stuff in wrestling. I'm just over it. It's played out, and it gets more and more diluted every time. I've been okay with just the Izzy and Tatum thing, but we're now getting creepy stuff with Tatum Paxley somehow abducting this massive man. I don't. Maybe there'll be a reveal of someone who's working with Tatum. I'm not sure, but yes, was a little odd. We go forward where Ethan Page is in the ring and says he was appalled by seeing the WWE champion crying while someone else retired, whilst another champion was attacked from behind. And that same champion with potential and a back so strong that he can carry an entire industry, his back was almost broken last week, and no one seems to care. Why was I attacked? Jealousy? Because I've become the foundation of NXT? Or is it because I took the North American Championship and left every other champion in the dust? I'm here to get my answers. So come out here. Ethan Page obviously calling out Tony D'Angelo, who returned at the last PLE. A bit weird. He attacked Javon at the first PLE, and then it feels like they went, oh, actually, let's have you feud with Ethan Page. So it isn't Tony D who comes out, but Stax and Ariana Grace. And Stax says, I don't know who you're talking about, and I don't give a damn. Which is quite funny, as obviously Stax kind of wrote off Tony D in the first place. There was this little awkward moment where Stax is sitting on the middle rope. Did you catch this?
Yeah.
He sat on the middle rope, like, you know, Macho and Elizabeth, to let Ariana into the ring. But Ariana's obviously so used to, as most of the women are, going under the middle rope, that she goes to go under the middle rope and then realizes Stax is sitting on it, so she can't. So she gets all awkward and then enters over the second rope. And then you can see her just for a second. She's like embarrassed and laughing, and then quickly turns it into like, Stax, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? But was a pretty unintentional, funny moment here from the couple. Stax brings up his exotic queen, how she's so happy for him holding the TNA International Championship. And the one thing she wants for Christmas is more gold. Paige tells him that he has zero decorum, and Stax says that he wants a AAA mixed tag title match against him and Chelsea Green. But it is not Chelsea who comes out next, but Moose. Moose comes out and says once again, an NXT talent has a TNA championship, and the boys at TNA are pissed. So I'm here to do something about it. So you think Moose is going to take on Stax, but he says, Stax, someone else is going to deal with you, and today's your lucky day because I am laser focused on Ethan Page. And Moose says he wants the prestigious NXT North American Championship. And Ethan goes, well, you can't just come around here calling all your shots. You don't even go here. And Moose says, well, I've ran it by Ava, and it is official. So we will be getting on December 30th, which is the NXT End of Year Awards show, Moose versus Ethan Page for the North American Championship.
Yeah, should be good. Should be good. Cool seeing Moose around NXT. He's improved so much over the past few years, you know, and I think that seeing the crowd reaction to Moose as well was really cool. Oftentimes when these TNA people come out, it's lukewarm at best, but he got a pretty good reaction. You know, obviously the music helps, but I like this. Nice little setup.
Yeah, I like what we're doing. It's basically all these people from all these different companies keep on challenging Ethan Page. You gotta, like, yes, he's arrogant, but you gotta feel for the guy because he's kind of right. He's been defending this title against everyone. He is probably the most winningest champion at this point in the company against most different people. And I'm with you. I think Moose has improved so much over the last few years. And I think this crowd know it as well. I think his his appearances on NXT have been very good. And I'm a lot more up for this match than I was the Mr. Iguana singles match. So I think this could be a pretty good one. Do you see Moose winning this?
You know, part of me says yes, but I still think that it's way too early to remove the 2 belts from Ethan Page. I can see him and Chelsea Green losing at least their North American US title on the same show so that they can keep that continuity going. And I'm curious to see how that match is going to go down and how Moose is going to lose. Is it going to be clean? Is it going to be a schmoz? Is it going to be crazy? Is it going to be DQ? Yeah, so I don't see him winning the title, but it'll be good. I'm kind of interested to see what happens.
We see Javon Evans still outside waiting for Ricky Saints, and Leon Slater comes up to him and says, "Come on, man, you got to come inside. It's Orlando gets cold in the winter. Come on." And Javon's like, "No, I'm here waiting for Ricky." He says, "You'll get your lick back, but tonight I got to focus on my #1 contenders match. So come inside. It's cold out here, fam." So they go in. That leads us to our next match. Hank and Tank taking on OTM. Oh boy, was I excited about this one. Yes, let's get into it. Bronco Nima starts off and delivers shoulder blocks to Tank and just says, "I can do this all day," as he keeps delivering these. Price tags in and hits the kitchen sink with a stomp combo from OTM. And then during the match, we see a black car show up. Obviously, they were waiting for Javon to leave. We assume it's Ricky Saints. There's a big slap to the face from Lucian Price to Tank Ledger. Hank and Tank then come in, hit a double shoulder block in the corner to Price. They go for the 10 punches in the corner, but OTM catches them in powerbomb positions, drives their back against each other, and then slam them to the mat with a powerbomb. Hank Walker comes in and delivers the snake eyes and a giant fireman's carry with a bit of a spin there on his shoulder. And then after the break, like immediately after the break, Tank hits a tope suicida to Nima. There's a superplex from Price. And then Tank has a submission locked in, but Bronco Nima comes in, choke slamming Hank onto his back to break it up. There's then a double back breaker from OTM, but Hank breaks it up. There's then a double Samoan drop from OTM. And this is where Vic says to Booker, "It's almost like they've been training in Houston." So we can assume that these two have been at Reality of Wrestling. There's another kick out from Hank and Tank. They then go to put Hank through the table as Booker, being very unbiased, is just telling them to do it. Tank Ledger makes the save. They roll him into the ring. They do the honk honk to Lucian Price, but Nima takes out Tank with a clothesline. And then Hank catches Nima with an inside cradle. And Tank holds Lucian Price back and allowing Hank and Tank to pick up the win.
Yeah, so this match, like you, super excited when this match started. But I gotta say, by the end of it, I was kind of into it. Hank and Tank look really good right now. They've leaned out a lot. I guess their time in Japan really helped them. They seem a lot better. I didn't care too much about Public Enemy 2.0 for the longest time. But you know what? By the end of this match, I'm not gonna say I'm a fan, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I was just really dreading this match. But yeah, they didn't look too bad. Davie, is the OTM project done in NXT?
I hope so. I don't get them at all. They've been here long enough now, and I've seen zero improvement. Like Vic made that comment about them being in training in Houston. I didn't see anything different. Yes, they've maybe picked up a couple more double team moves, but none of them look good. That kitchen sink into the stomp looked weak. Even the finish, like, man, Lucian Price was just sitting there as the pin was going. And maybe that's on Tank for not holding him back in time, but you should do something. There should always be movement. Like, why are you sitting there? You should be going to break it up. And maybe that's, you have to get on your feet, and the time it's taking you to get to your feet is long enough, and then Tank holds you back or whatever. I I didn't see anything. And man, I keep on. I know Booker is playing a character, but it just seems all the people Booker books and Booker like is behind and championing all these people that have gone to his wrestling school are dog shit, man. Like these two, Lexis King, Jasper Troy. Like he's saying these guys are the future of this company. Like absolutely not. Like OTM have been around, what, 2-3 years now, and I've seen nothing. Look, Hank and Tank, I don't know what their ceiling is. They're a fun act. They'll probably, as I was watching this with my roommate earlier, and he's going, you know, as soon as Tozawa and Otis hang up their boots or leave the company, Hank and Tank will slot into that position. You know, comedy, jobber, tag team, but the crowd like and get behind. And that's fine. There's a place for that. They might be higher than that. Who knows? I think Tank especially has a lot about him, but their charisma is infectious. Like, and every time they come out, you go, oh, it's going to be a Hank and Tank match. And then you end up kind of getting into it. Like, I think they've shown us so much more than OTM. And I hope that this win for them is like emblematic of that. Because I don't know what else to do unless you completely do a gimmick change or what, or try something else, send them to Evolve. I don't know, but these guys ain't it.
Send them back to the mud at this point, because honestly, I don't get them. I've never gotten them. And look, NXT is developmental. We always have to remember this. But the whole point of developmental is that you keep improving. Like you said, I haven't seen these guys improve in anything they do in the ring, any promo they cut, anything, anywhere. They seem more lost now somehow. It's like they regressed in their wrestling skills somehow. And I don't like talking shit about any wrestler. I'm not a wrestler. We're not wrestlers. But when it's so obvious, like these OTM guys, it's really hard to get behind them at this point. And I think the experiment's done. Like you said, either they need to go somewhere else or they need a complete revamp at this point.
Yeah, 100%. Well, from out the mud to Jasper Troy. Oh, God. To just my favorite acts back to back.
Yep.
Jasper Troy is backstage with Ava. And Ava's like, oh, I've had a lot going on. I'm dealing with Ricky. I'm dealing with Javon. And Troy says, well, I should have dealt with them when I had a chance. Ava announces that next week is the start of a brand new speed tournament. And Jasper just says it's bad news for whoever wins, as destruction is guaranteed. What were your thoughts on Jasper Troy here?
I had to go to the bathroom right after this OTM match, so I missed most of this.
Okay.
And to be honest, I left in the middle of it because I love Jasper Troy so much. Best speed champion ever. I can't stand him. Like, again, it's similar to OTM. I don't get him. I don't see any improvement, and I just don't see any allure. I don't see anything in him.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, at least to give him some credit, he's been here a lot less time than OTM. But I don't think this promo was great. I'm not excited for his matches. And
yet, somehow, Davie, this wasn't the worst promo of the night.
Okay, I'm intrigued. I am intrigued. We then go to Ricky Saints, who comes out with security surrounding him. Just his personal security. Like, some of these guys were in tracksuit bottoms. They didn't look like your regular jobber cops we have here in NXT. Just some of Ricky's boys. And he says, first things first, I'm not out here to apologize. The day I stepped foot in this ring, I said I would be bringing in the Absolute Era. I came to NXT because I wanted to prove to the world that I am who I say I am. Ricky Saints is the guy who can carry any brand. And that's why I took the biggest gamble on myself, because I didn't have any options. If I wanted to move forward, I had to be obsessed with being number one. Everyone was obsessed with who will be the man to beat Obafemi. And I was the man, and I did it. But this is what's confusing to me. You enjoyed it for a minute, but you already wanted to see someone else. You would rather have Javon beat Obafemi. So when Javon jumped the line way before I got my rematch, I had to check Javon and put him back to the line until I say so. My entire career, I've played it very safe and I've been passed over. Not anymore. I'm going to get what I want when I want it. And if that means I have to stab someone in the back or the front, then so be it. Your time is going to come, but I've waited for mine long enough. And you mean to tell me that Javon Evans is better than Ricky Saints? How many titles has he won? Whenever I allow Javon to step into the ring with me, I'm going to prove he's a class way below me. Just like him and everyone else, they have to wait. You got NXT superstars in the back chasing clout when you got a real main eventer here, more debonair and suave than anyone. I'm not the wrong guy. I'm the right guy. And every time I come to the ring, it says the revolution is televised because I'm here living it. There's no one who will go to the lengths as me to be at the top. And this is when Javon Evans pulls him out the ring, attacks him. The security are trying to tear them apart. Javon keeps breaking out and keeps fighting. And eventually Ricky throws him into the ring steps and delivers a very impressive Rochambeau through the announce table.
This was the best thing that Ricky Saints has done since jumping to NXT. It just goes to show you this guy is a built heel. He's better heel. He needs to be heel. Stop making him a face. Keep him heel. This was the best thing he's done. I really like this. Even the crowd reaction. The crowd was so behind him in the right way throughout this entire promo, just giving him shit, swearing at him, booing him. This is great. I love this. This was so good.
I was worried you were going to say this was the worst promo.
Oh, God,
I
no.
was really confused. And
I have hot takes, but this isn't one of them.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. This is absolutely, pardon the pun, but yes, this is exactly the right position for Ricky Saints to be in. Finally, he feels like we're getting that Ricky Saints that we all knew was in him. He's had good moments in NXT. I don't think he's lit the world on fire. I think his promo here, I feel as a heel, you can just let loose a little bit more and showed exactly why he's one of the best on the mic. And certainly one of the best. Him and Ethan Page are just so good, I think. And as much as I want to see them on the main roster, I do think NXT needs some of these people because that men's division lacks quite a lot. But yeah, I thought Ricky was fantastic. Sorry, yeah, Ricky was fantastic here. I thought that Rochambeau, okay, Javon's pretty skinny dude, but he's tall. And to get the height of this Rochambeau up and through the announce table itself and break the table at that, I thought was really impressive. I imagine they'll have the match at New Year's Evil for the #1 contender spot. And I imagine it is Ricky Saints to win that.
Should be. I think for now, Javon Evans should, I don't want to say a losing streak, but lose some big matches. And then he gets the big one to go to Stand and Deliver and face Obafemi.
I think he's 0-11 in championship matches.
Probably.
So far. So yeah, make it 0-22. Yeah, I think Javon is, I don't think he risks losing too much and it affecting him. I think Stand and Deliver is the exact time you should be crowning him. So you've got to have him, tread some water and have these obstacles before he gets to there. And I think Ricky beating him at New Year's Evil, I'd almost say Ricky beating Oba again in the rematch and taking that title back so you can have Obafemi on the main roster. He definitely turned heads. I didn't like that finish at Saturday night's main event, but as you said, people are doing the walk already. This guy looks main roster ready and will certainly shake up that main event scene. So I could see Oba moving up and Ricky versus Javon at Stand and Deliver. And that can be... Javon, I think, needs to overcome a big heel. And I can't see them turning Oba during this run. So it should be Ricky. But I thought this was great. This was one of the best things on the show tonight.
Same, I agree. This is great. I really enjoyed this. I was getting nervous about Ricky Saints and his run in WWE and NXT so far, but this it calmed me down. We're good. It was just false negative. We're good. Ricky Saints, keep doing this. Keep doing this. Keep being that shitbag, dirtbag heel.
We go backstage with Ava once again, the general manager, who's congratulating Sol on beating Bayley at Saturday night's main event. When Ethan Page comes in and he's going, "What happened, Ava? I was blindsided. You had Stacks coming out and then Moose." And then I love this like aside. He just looks at Sol and goes, "I told you to not be talking to her about Zarya." And then continues. And there's a Moose on the loose when Chelsea Green storms in and says Ava is just as bad as Nicholas the Prickless and what's she called, Pierce again?
I forgot. I was laughing at what she called Nick Aldis.
Yeah. And says, Ava says, "Look, Chelsea, all the bad things that have happened to you are not my fault." And Ethan's asking, "Well, what about the Moose?" And Ava says, "Well, aren't you the greatest North American champion of all time? So you should have no problem defending against Moose." And Ava even says that Chelsea will be defending the US title next week against Sol Ruka. So a rare main roster title being defended on NXT TV. I can't, apart from women's tags, can you think of any other time a main roster title has been defended on NXT TV?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I was just laughing because this is great. Anything Chelsea Green and Ethan Page do is so fucking funny. The whole bit about Moose in Orlando, they're usually in Canada. Like that whole bit they were doing throughout this was just fucking funny.
Keep on calling him the Moose. The Moose is on the loose.
I loved it. Oh, they're so good. They're so good. Can we just pair them up on the main roster forever at this point? Like they're so precious.
What I like, you saw on Unreal where Chelsea Green basically said, I want to be the Miz. Just tell me what to do. I'll do. If you want me to be hated, I'll be hated. If you want me to be embarrassed, I'll be embarrassed. If you want, I'll do any show, any interview, whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. And it's great for us because it means we get her on NXT and SmackDown every week. And I get the sense Ethan Page is similar, where he's just, send me to AAA. Cool. You want me on the main roster? I'll do that. You want me on NXT? I'll do that. Braden and I are broken records at this point about how this act will work so well on the main roster. So I hope we get a bit more of it. Do you see Sol Ruka taking the US Championship from?
I don't. Again, similar to Ethan Page. Okay, now that I'm thinking about it, what did I say earlier? They have to lose on the same show.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And have you seen the new T-shirt that Ethan Page and Chelsea Green have put out?
I have not.
Oh, okay. I'm going to show you right now.
I have not. Oh, now I'm curious. Am I going to have to whip out my wallet? Am I making a purchase at 11:24 p.m. a week before Christmas?
Spoofing some Canadian legends.
I need this. I'm buying this.
Yeah.
Next time I come over, I'm wearing this.
If you're listening to the audio right now and you don't know what we're talking about, WWE Shop have just dropped a brand new Ethan Page Chelsea Green shirt in the red with the silhouette of them posing in the style of the Edge and Christian 5-second pose. It's great. It's fantastic.
Yep. Well, I'm right when we're done recording, purchasing this.
You can't break these two up anytime soon. We go to our next match. It's Fallon Henley and Lainey Reid representing Fatal Influence, taking on the Wren QCC, Wren Sinclair, and the women's #1 contender, Kendal Gray. Wren and Kendal start double teaming Lainey. There's super kicks from both of them, and then this nice looking like double underhook suplex from Wren here, I believe. We then have JC comes out and gets on commentary, and this is where she gets out of her seat and is just yelling at Wren Sinclair, saying, "You better chill out, child." Just getting in her face. She then gets on the apron and gets punched off to the floor. There's a running forearm from Fallon to Wren for a 2. Kendal then fires up, trips Lainey, and hits a slingshot stomp to the stomach. I wasn't quite sure what happened here because I thought it looked like Lainey got the worst of it, but it was Kendal going for a flatliner, which the shades of gray, and I think Lainey like held the turnbuckle or something to block it, but it almost looked like the flatliner was into the turnbuckle.
Yeah.
But Lainey seems to have the advantage, comes back with a blockbuster. Fallon then comes in, goes for a suplex, but Kendal lands on her feet and hits an awesome-looking snap power slam. Kendal then applies the cross arm breaker, but this is where JC gets on the apron and gets punched off to the floor. Wren then comes flying off the top rope with the crossbody, taking out JC and Lainey at the same time. And Kendal rolls through again, applying the cross arm breaker, and Fallon Henley taps.
Good match. Very good match. Very formulaic. Nothing wrong with this. But Kendal Gray, man, she's so good. She is too good. And I think they put the belt back on JC Jane quickly so they can do the good guy versus bad guy match at New Year's Evil between them. And I think Kendal Gray might win. I legitimately do think Kendal Gray is going to win.
I'm kind of with you. Especially when, because I was thinking we were building to maybe Jordynne Grace winning this title. And she seems to be doing other stuff right now. She's involved with Thea. Is she still involved with Blake in some way? But she seems pretty far away from this championship at the moment. And man, Kendal Gray is so good. And I think do the Roxanne Perez, she just comes in. Roxanne won it was the breakout tournament, right? And then immediately cashed in on Mandy and won it. I can see something similar here. I don't think this JC Jane run is going to be too long. It does feel like it's just a transitional thing. And go with her. She's awesome. Who was it Kushida that would do this like diving, grab the arm and roll through to the cross arm breaker? But the way she like her movement is so slick, and it's obviously from some of her amateur wrestling background and that, but her transitions from move to move, like everything looks great. And she's been doing this 2 years, if that.
2 years. It just doesn't, it doesn't seem like other people in NXT where they're kind of thinking about the next move. They stop, they slow down. Everything is just so fluid with Kendal Gray. It is insane how good she is. And some of the moves, like, I don't even know where she can think of, like, just the movement. It's just the movement and how cool it looks, right? It's similar to Sol Roca, like, where they just look different in the ring in NXT. And I'm really digging things. And, if they were going to take the belt off Blake Monroe and wait for Kendal Gray to win the title, now that's a program I would pay money to watch.
And the partnership with Wren has been great because I think Wren brings out a lot of personality in people. So I think it's really helped Kendal develop a bit of her own personality as well. And you can hear this crowd; they really like her. I know we're just blowing smoke up. Kendal right now, but I thought everyone was great in this. I thought this was a pretty fun tag match and reminds you how strong the women's division is in NXT. It's definitely some of my more favorable stuff to watch on the show.
Even JC Jane on commentary was good. I kind of liked her, where you can hear what she's telling Kendal Gray and Wren Sinclair. I kind of like that, and she's gotten so much better on the mic. And overall, like everyone, all 5 women here was great.
Yeah. And I think Kendall's lip was busted at the end. She kept on checking her mouth. We go backstage to our new women's North American champion, Thea Hale, who's being interviewed. And she says that she's been crying for the last 20 minutes, that she has no more tears left to cry. And she's been in this company since she was 18. She's had friends. She's had no friends. She was in Chase U. She wasn't in Chase U. And then Jordynne Grace comes in and congratulates her. And Thea says, don't worry, you'll have your time. All you need to do is be positive. And then Blake Monroe walks in. She looks devastated. She's been crying. And she says, I kicked out. The ref should be fired. He made a mistake. And I want my rematch. Jordan says, look, she hasn't even been champion for 30 minutes yet. Let her have her moment. Blake looks at them both and says, well, enjoy your new muscle muffin. And walks out. But I liked it. I thought, they didn't have long to set this up, and it made sense for all the characters. I think you had the moment last week with Thea trying to give Jordynne Grace advice, and Jordynne Grace being like, "Look, I've been wrestling for years, and I'm not having this child give me advice." Like, felt patronized, and then it's kind of she's feeling a little awkward about that because now she's the champion. It works for Blake's character to just be devastated and over the top like this. So I thought they made a good thing out of a icky situation.
It makes you really question, and we know that wasn't the actual ending of the match. We know that there was something different that they had planned, but I kind of like how they put that bow in this. It's like, no, we had a plan. Look, this promo happened later in the night. But the Jordynne Grace, Thea Hale dynamic, it's so awkward. And I hope that it's like, just go with that. Right, especially if they're going to turn Jordynne Grace heel. I'm liking that. I'm really liking. I'm enjoying it, to say the least. Women's division in NXT is just ridiculously good.
The Jordynne Grace run has been a little odd, though, hasn't it?
It has been.
I think the best thing about Jordynne Grace is her wrestling, and we don't always get to see it. I think matches on TV are often cut short, and then there's only a certain amount of people who get the PLE matches. Outside of the Julia match and maybe the Roxanne match before she was officially in the company, I can't think of many great matches Jordynne Grace has had. And she's not the most dynamic promo in the world either. So maybe, as we said, like, Jordynne Grace could have just gone straight to the main roster. But this is developmental and you should be developing things. And maybe a little bit of the sports entertainment, dare I say it, is what Jordynne Grace needs to develop. So maybe a heel turn will get some of that out of her.
Yep, agreed. I'm curious to see where they go with this, with Jordynne Grace especially, because I agree with you. Her run's been awkward, to say the least.
We cut to Izzy Dane in the locker room, who realizes she's on the phone to Sean Spears. Goes, "What do you mean Nico has gone missing?" And hangs out. So Nico is dead or kidnapped or something. It's NXT. It happens. Like, deal with it. Where Lola Vice says, "Oh, I feel bad for Nico and Spears because I'd be looking over my shoulder if I was them after what you did, Izzy." Then we see Kalani, who is moving her stuff back into the locker room. And Lola Vice is like, "What are you doing?" She goes, "Well, I'm moving back in. Like, I've had it. I'm coming back in. I work in NXT. This is my locker room. Coming here." And tells Lola that jealousy doesn't look good on her. She says she's the biggest crossover star. And Lola says, "We'll find out that MMA beats gymnastics all the time." So imagine we'll be getting Lola and Kalani down the line. I wonder if this is going to be a bigger feud. Are we going to get the NXT Underground again with these two?
I would like that. And still not the worst promo of the night.
We go next to Shiloh Hill and Skylar Ray. Shiloh says that after his debut match last week, the adrenaline from wrestling in NXT is crazy. He says it's even crazier than when I'm chasing raccoons. Yes, you heard me right. Stax and Ariana Grace walk in, and they're mad that Moose annoyed them from getting the mixed tag championship. And Shiloh says, "Wait, there's a Moose? Isn't that weird? A Moose in Florida?" And Stax just tells him to get his tooth fixed. Shiloh and Skylar Ray tell them not to be rude and remind them that they won their season of LFG. And basically, we set up this match between them, and we'll see who's better between this NXT and LFG team. Was this your worst promo of the night?
This is by far the worst thing. Shiloh, How did he win LFG? How did he win LFG? Because everything about him is awkward and weird and stupid and just horrible. And by God, someone pay for some acting classes. Like, please, for the love of God. Just everything he's done so far has been just so blah.
Okay, I think I'm on a weird little island where I like Shiloh Hill and Home Alone 3. So
You like, oh, of course you do. Of course you do.
Okay. Like I've had this conversation with Braden a couple of times where I think there's something there. Yes, he's green, he's awkward and goofy, but I find there's something a little bit more captivating of him than there is Jasper Troy or that Olympian, or I like this Skylar Ray, this woman just standing next to him. Like, she won season 1. I know we've seen her wrestle once. She doesn't leap off the screen at all. I think there's at least something about Shiloh Hill, and he'll need to develop for sure. Like, his wrestling will need to develop. He'll need to get a bit more comfortable in this character. It's a little, I found this one maybe more so than the weird stuff with him at the computer, a little bit forcing the weird a little bit more. But I don't hate him. I'm a little bit intrigued to see where they go with the guy, but I get it. I get why people don't like it.
I hope I eat my words. I hope in a year from now, I fill in for Braden again, and you say, "Hey, Boris, you were wrong about Shiloh."
Who's your new favorite wrestler? Title.
Exactly. I hope that's what we have this conversation in a year. I'm hoping, but right now, I'm just like, it's just so awkward. I get goosebumps out of how awkward he is.
Yeah, I get it. I do. We then see Dion Lennox with Dark State walking towards the ring as they're getting ready for the main event, when we get the rundown for next week's matches, where we have Chelsea Green versus Sol Ruka for the US title, and Lola Vice versus Izzy Dane. And then in the funniest graphic I've seen in a while, happy holidays, NXT. Next Tuesday, the men's WWE Speed Tournament begins. And finally, Jasper Troy's gone full Jacob Marley in this picture. Just something about this big, kind of scary looking dude holding this dorky speed title with Christmas themed stuff all around him. I don't know. I just found this pretty funny.
I thought that I actually laughed because it just looks so weird. It just looks so out of place. It's almost as if he knew what, like, in the green screen, what they were going to put behind him. And you can tell, you just like, this is the most awkward picture ever. If I were a parent, I would pay a lot of money for that school picture.
And that takes us to our main event. It's to determine who challenges Obafemi at New Year's Evil, right? Yes, that's the show we're going to. Yes. Dion Lennox versus Joe Hendry versus Myles Borne versus Leon Slater. We have Dion and Myles going at it to start. Myles hits a reverse DDT on Joe. This was kind of nice. He's like got it in position as Dion Lennox comes flying in with a clothesline as Myles hits it to kind of duck the clothesline and hit this reverse DDT. We then get a DDT from Joe to Slater. Leon then hits a flipping seated senton to Joe on the floor, which looked very nice. And then a flying crossbody to Lennox. Leon jumps the floor and seems to tweak his knee. So he's off and on again selling this knee throughout the rest of the match. Goes back to the ring, and this allows Dion Lennox to take advantage, kicking away at the knee. Slater then leaps up at Myles Borne, but gets caught on his shoulders and hit with a Doomsday device from Lennox. Lennox then sends Joe into the ring steps, and then all three of them apply a submission to Dion Lennox. Slater then comes back, delivering leg lariats, climbs to the top, and Lennox pulls his leg to crotch him on the top of the turnbuckle. We then get a Tower of Doom sunset flip spot, with Slater being the man on the bottom of this to deliver the big powerbomb superplex. Remember, he's apparently got one leg at this point. Hendry fires up, delivering his fall-away slam, goes for the standing ovation, but Slater blocks it and delivers Utopia. He goes up top, and Dion Lennox rolls out the way and is like the other side of the ring. And Slater thinks, fuck it, I'm going for it anyway, and hits the swanton halfway across the ring. Very impressive. Myles Borne, Slater then climbs to the top of the rope again, and Borne hits a huge drop kick, knocking him off the turnbuckle. Joe then hits the suplex to Borne, a fall-away slam to Myles, and then another to Lennox, a high-angle slam to Borne, and then the standing ovation, and then Slater leaps up top, gets caught and thrown onto Lennox on the floor, who then goes for the pin, but Borne then goes for the pin, but gets pulled out the ring by Lennox. They're then fighting on the floor when Slater climbs up top and hits the Swanton 450 for the win. So that means we're getting Leon Slater versus Obafemi at New Year's Evil for the NXT Championship. And Obafemi comes out at the end to stare down Leon Slater.
Thought this match was great. I really, really, really like this match. I thought Joe Hendry looked amazing in this match. Like, this was a really good match from him. Leon Slater just continues to show how good he is. It's disgusting how good he is. Myles Borne, we always liked them, continue to like them. What are your thoughts on Dion Lennox?
I actually called him winning this match because
I thought so too.
Because I think you kind of reminded us of the history of Oba and Dion the other week, and I thought it could be a way to really try and break out Dion Lennox a little bit. I think he's athletic. He's got a bit of a sort of Jason Jordan vibe about him in style, but haven't seen enough from him to have him stand out from the pack. So I like him. I do think he's got potential. I hate this Dark State group. I just don't think it's working. But I was kind of hoping they'd give him this opportunity. Yeah, what about you?
Yeah, look, I think that he needs to get away from Dark State. I think as a singles competitor, he will be great. He's big. He's kind of what NXT and even the main roster would need down the line. I think as a solo guy, he's got it. There's something about him that I really do like, and I thought he was going to win. I thought it was going to be him, you know, the heel facing Obafemi at New Year's Evil. But we're getting Leon Slater. There might be a story to tell there with Javon Evans, right? There's a lot of stories kind of like overlapping and commingling together, and I'm really liking it. Not sure where they're going with Myles Borne right now. What do you think? Like, I'm really lost. What's next for him?
I honestly just think he should go back in the tag team with Tavion Heights. I know that that's going backwards, but they've kind of already squeezed the juice out of the I'm deaf motivational thing. It's something you can absolutely play with on the main roster. Like, it is a great story, like what he's overcome to be a wrestler, like the first deaf wrestler in WWE I'm aware of. But he's got to have more to him than just that. And at the moment, that's kind of all I see. Like, he's not bad, but I think the tag division could use more people, more teams. And his team with Tavion was pretty good. I see Tavion below Myles, and they've tried the singles thing with him. I just think both feel a little lost. And yeah, I think I would like to see them actually move Lennox. If you're keeping Dark State together, move Lennox to be the sole talker of the group. Maybe not share it so much. Maybe really put some focus on him as the leader, as the spokesman. Have him tested a little bit more. Cut promos in the ring. I can't remember last time these guys cut a promo in the ring. It always seems to be backstage or pre-produced or whatever. And really test him with that to see if he's got it. I enjoyed the match. I don't think I enjoyed it quite as much as you. I don't think these options were particularly interesting for me to face Oba. And look, I think Leon Slater is fantastic. Fellow Brit, so got to support him. And it's it's crazy to see the year he's had. Like he's still in TNA. He's not an NXT contracted wrestler, and he just wrestled on John Cena's last show against AJ Styles, and is now #1 contender for the NXT Championship. That's fantastic. I didn't like the story with his leg in this match at all, to be honest. I found it. I didn't think he sold it particularly well. And then the amount of stuff he was doing after, quote unquote, tweaking his leg, like the Tower of Doom spot. Like you've got one leg. Like Booker's saying, "Oh, I wonder if he tore his ACL." He's got a torn ACL and is delivering like a power bomb to 3 big dudes. Like, no. I found that all a little bit too much. I know they were trying to be like build sympathy for him.
Yeah, and overcoming type of thing.
But he was the most exciting guy in this match anyway. I don't think you necessarily needed to do that. Or if you do that, I think he needed to sell the leg a bit more and do a little less of the stuff that really requires you to have an ACL fully intact.
Yeah. And then they could have used that gimmick. Hey, my ACL's bad, leading into his match with Obafemi, right?
Yeah. But I like the story. I like, does that now build animosity between Leon and Javon? Like, I don't necessarily want to see either of them turn heel or have a feud or stuff like that, but I think that can keep Javon in a bit of this like down in the dumps rut. You know, he's been screwed by Ricky. He's focused on Ricky, and now his best friend, who doesn't even work there, is getting the title shot that he feels he deserves.
And I think that's part of the story, right? Where we were talking about Javon's kind of like, he's in the muds, and then he's going to have to get out of the mud and, rise and eventually get to stand and deliver. And I think this all falls into it.
Absolutely. Overall, what would you grade this show? Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle?
Thumbs in the middle. I think thumbs in the middle. The main event, Ethan Page and Chelsea Green for sure saved it for me. I would put it thumbs in the middle. It started off really awkward, that the Blake Monroe, Thea Hale, and then there was some other weird stuff that happened. It just seemed very like an awkward episode. It felt like NXT 2.0 at the very beginning, but then as the show went on, it got better. Did you catch the very end of the show with Tony D'Angelo?
Oh no.
Yeah. So
no, as
there. Yeah, so because I figured, because we were getting ready for this, I was just watching it here, and as right before they go dark on the show, they kind of pan to the very top rows of the NXT arena, the Performance Center, and you see Tony D'Angelo pulling his best impression of Crow Sting. So that's kind of how it ended.
So what do you think his deal is? Do you think he's going to move on to? Like, he's not necessarily challenging Ethan Page. He's just going to start randomly attacking everyone, or what's his deal?
I think he's in a, if you effed me over, I'm going to get you type of story. So anyone who beat him, anyone who screwed him over, I can see Stacks getting it soon. And I think he's just going to beat everyone up. He's going to be kind of like the lone wolf type of character moving forward.
So who from this main event did he have his eyes on? Oba?
Oh,
I mean, like Oba came out at the end, right?
Yeah, I think it was Oba, but I do think, I don't know, I have a feeling maybe he wants Oba for himself type of thing. So he might do what he did to Javon Evans earlier in the match to Leon Slater and screw him that way. That's what I can see happening.
Yeah, I thought mixed bag of a show this week. I really enjoyed the Ricky Saints promo. Yeah. Chelsea and Ethan are always fun to watch. That women's tag was a lot of fun. For different reasons, I found the Thea Hale Blake Monroe thing just interesting. I always find it interesting with how they deal with situations like that. And the main event was okay. What I was surprised with is this main event actually got quite a bit of time compared to the length of main events usually. So I appreciated it for that. So yeah, thumbs in the middle from me as well. We do have some feedback, I believe. Every week we throw up a feedback thread on the Poisonrana feedback Facebook page. If you haven't joined, just go to Facebook, search for Poison Rana, join the page, and that will lead you to our private group. And we'll just ask you a couple of questions. We pretty much let everyone in, including Megan, who says, I've been skipping feedback for the last few weeks because nothing on NXT has been grabbing me. It's so heel dominant that it made it a little joyless. The 4-way main event was the high point, and Femi Slater should be gangbusters in 3 weeks. Kendal Gray continues to excel at an alarming rate. This show needs a revamp heading into the new year. Yeah, let's talk about that, like a bit of a revamp. Thank you, Megan. Always appreciate your feedback. Who do you see moving up? Like, who would you like to see move up, and who would you like to see get elevated in NXT?
So moving up, Obafemi. I think that's the obvious choice from everyone in the room. If you don't think Obafemi is ready, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. Obafemi moves up from the women, Blake Monroe and Jordan Grace. I don't see I don't think they're long for NXT at this point, especially if they feud with each other. I can kind of see them doing some weird 360 type of thing with those two. So I think those three are kind of destined for the main roster. The curious case of Ethan Page. Do you just move him up with Obafemi and the other two? And
he should just be a free agent who just appears anywhere. Wherever. He's Brock Lesnar, just go wherever.
Right? So those four are the ones that I can probably see moving up. Now, in terms of elevation, we have Kendal Gray. I think 2026 is going to be her breakout year. She's going to be champ. She's the new Roxanne Perez, as you mentioned. And I love that comparison because I think that's what they're going to do with her. And yeah, she's going to have an outstanding year. Javon Evans, obviously, I think he's going to be the face of the NXT men's division. I think Leon Slater is going to be kind of like that mid-Carter type of person. And Joe Hendry, I can see kind of him even being the one who dethrones Ethan Page down the road of the North American title at some point. I can see him playing a big factor as long as they move him away from that comedic type of character. I like serious Joe Hendry. He can do that gimmick here and there, but I like when Joe Hendry is laser focused on whomever he's facing. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm not sure what they're gonna do with JC Jane and her ladies. They're kind of stuck in this weird place.
I'd really like to see Fallon and JC move up together and enter the tag division as Fatal Influence. You can leave Lainey Reid behind to develop. I don't think she's necessarily ready to move up yet, but I think Fallon and JC are more than ready. They've done everything there is to do in NXT. And I think that boosts the tag division. Keep them as a tag team, and then you can establish them as singles down the line if you choose to. I'd say, Trick, Ethan, and Oba are the ones on the men's side to move up. And Big Time Baxter saying Trick Williams was doing NXT live events this past weekend. Interesting. But yeah, I think they're the ones to move up. It'll be interesting to see when Leon Slater's TNA contract's over, because I assume he's coming right in. And
2026 is the year of Shiloh, baby.
Yeah. And Megan just sending a message as well. Have you seen Elio LaFleur yet? I have not. Have you, Boris?
I have not.
I haven't watched any of Evolve or LG, if that is where they're at. Yeah. But
outside of Jack Cartwheel, I haven't really kept up to date with too much Evolve.
Well, there you have it. Braden and I will be back next week for NXT. Remember, we'll be going at a slightly earlier time, around 9:25, 9:30 p.m., depending on when NXT finishes. We're normally on here about 5 minutes right after. If you are from in the US watching on the CW, you can always watch us on a delay. We always talk a bit about the news and stuff anyway, so by the time NXT finishes, we'll be going into the NXT review. And thank you, Boris, once again. Thank you for last week joining us for The Champ Is Here. I thought that was a fantastic episode we did, and we're looking forward to. Are you going to join in with in the trivia on
yes.
Sunday? Are you going to
give me a time? Give me a time. Give me give me a time that way I can go to the run to the LCBO, get some eggnog, get some booze. Like I say, that day I'm actually recording my best and worst of 2025 with my folks over at A Plus Wrestling. So I'm going to be sloshed regardless. So yeah, it's gonna be a great time. Always a pleasure being chatting with you guys, whether it be here online or in person. It's always fun chatting wrestling and reviewing stuff and extending the wrestling family here in Toronto.
Well, it's fun having you on here as well. Really appreciate it. We're really grateful here at Post Wrestling and Poisonrana that we have all these people that can hop it on and join us when one of us wants a break or take our mothers to see the Nutcracker. So thank you again, Boris. Once more, subscribe and Poisonrana Pod on YouTube. Martin Bushby and Andrew Thompson will be going live at 3 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow with their holiday wrestling extravaganza. And I'll be going live on Sunday with Braden, and you're all invited to our Christmas house party, 3 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you there. We'll be giving out the links. Follow us on socials. Follow us at Poisonrana Pod. You can follow me personally at Davie Portman. Boris, where can we find you?
You can follow me at BR_Aguilar. You see it right down there, wherever it is. Yeah, right down there for those of you watching on YouTube. But it's BR_AGUILAR. That's my screen name in most social medias. And also A Plus Productions. Let's just say A Plus Wrestling. EH Plus Wrestling. Go to any podcasting app. Search for A Plus Wrestling. Hit that subscribe. We have a weekly show. Like I say, Hutch from The Band Lucha is my co-host there. We're planning big things in 2026. We are on the radio out in Hamilton, KPHR Radio. It's a classic rock station because nothing says pro wrestling like classic rock. That's KPHR, A Plus Wrestling. And yeah, we have our best and worst shows of 2025 coming out, which those are always fun. Like I say, I'm going to be sloshed for those. I'm going to be sloshed for your party. And I can't wait for our next meetup because it'll be fun.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for joining us, guys. We'll be catching you a lot more this holiday season. Hope you're well. Hope you're rested. Take care. Goodbye. Be safe. And the moose is loose. Ahoy!